The first day of the third test match at Headingley began in hazy, oppressive conditions that looked to me as though they would favour the pace bowlers of the side fielding first. Well, Tony Greig won the toss for the third time in a row, and a very good toss it was to win too, with England needing to win this test match at Headingley if they would have a chance of regaining the Ashes. The teams, well, the England selectors left out Hendrick and Lever from the 13 originally nominated. They made Bob Woolmer 12th man, and the Australians this time brought in Gary Gilmore and left out Alan Turner. Dennis Lilly bowled the first ball of this Headingley test match.
It's Lilly to Wood. Three short legs, Walker the finest of the two, Thompson just behind, and Gary Gilmore just in front of square. There's Gilmore, the replacement, who's really forced his way into this side with a series of excellent performances. And a first cap for England for Phil Edmonds, with Woolmer the man left out, Hendrick and Lever unfit, Hampshire recalled to the test scene on his home ground here, and Keith Fletcher coming back. There then the two sides as Thompson moves in. And confidently put through mid-off, and that ball streaking away on this quick outfield. Edwards chasing it down the hill, just about going to cut it off. So three very easy runs there to John Edrich. And a leisurely, almost medium pace half volley there from Jeff Thompson, his loosener to start things off, and Edrich is underway. Thompson to Wood. That's a good shot, 4 runs, half volley outside the leg stump, beautifully clipped away by Borry Wood. Confidently off the mark. And that ball hitting the pickets there a couple of seconds after it left the bat. This Headingley ground being something of a lucky one, of course, for England. They haven't lost a test match here against any country since 1966 when the West Indies beat them. That's another good shot, it's another 4 runs. In swinger slanted in, over-pitched, of course, round at Barry Wood's legs, and very nicely clipped away for 4 more. That's another good shot. Over-pitch, moved nicely into position. Edwards chasing it at cover, he'll cut it off. And the two openers will only take 2. Edwards, one of the great cover fielders in the game of cricket at the moment, did some really startling work at Lord's in the test match. Saved run after run there. And looks like having a busy day again today. Another good shot by Rich. And he collects 2 more as Ross Edwards is kept busy in the covers. So we're going to see the left arm quickish over the wicket attack of Gary Gilmore to Edrich. Found the gap, a big gap there, mid-on very wide. Max Walker a chase up to the far boundary, and they'll settle for 2 runs. So see now how Barry Wood copes with Gilmore coming left arm over the wicket into him. 2 short legs, both behind. 4 slips and a gully. And that's LBW, and that's the breakthrough, and Gilmore has done it again. Very good late-in swinger, and Arthur Fagg having no hesitation at all. Gilmore coming over the wicket, moving the ball in sharply, and it looked a very good decision to me. Ball swinging in, would have taken, I would have thought, somewhere around about middle stump. And the first wicket down for England, Barry Wood, LBW to Gary Gilmore for 9. The score on 25. No change in the field for David Steele. He's off the mark with 4 again. Exactly the way that he got underway at Lord's in the last Test match. Nice square drive from David Steele. Gets him moving, brings him 4. To reach a long way for it.
The outfield is very fast, both sides of the ground. No real chance there for Max Walker to cut that off. So EDRICH takes his first boundary of the morning and moves on to 30. Runs for Steele, and in fact it'll run into the boundary. That really is fast on that side, and it's also downhill. The 50 up for England with that 3 to David Steele. He goes into double figures on 11, 51 for 1 now, and it came up in 71 minutes. We're in the 16th over now. Four more. The thick outside edge again, David Steele. Edwards. That's well fielded. And no need to chase that. Full toss from Dennis Lilly. Got the treatment it deserved. John Edwards now goes on to 24.
Got it away this time. Nobody down there. Hurrying away for 4 more. Applause then not only for that boundary, but for the 50 partnership between these two. Incredibly good time too for a Test match. Just a shade over a run a minute. 53 minutes for those 50 runs. Coming together when the last wicket went down at 25. And Ian Chappell now been forced to put the extra man back. That's a short one. Hooked away, deep long leg this time. Very fine indeed. And this man certainly isn't frightened of anything Bolt short at him. It's a good shot. Really hammered that away off the back foot. Wasn't all that short, but very quickly into position. 6 boundary now to David Steele as he moves his score on to 35. England 83 for 1. It's a great shot. All the way for 4 runs. Oh, Colin, nicely timed. A big gap through extra cover. EDRICH finds it. And another one. Played that slightly later, able to put it away square this time on the off for 4. The 2 over-pitch balls by Gilmore there, getting the right sort of treatment. That's a better one. Bowler up, all the slips up, that pitching somewhere about right. So that must have been reasonably close. Gilmore now to bowl the last over of the morning's play. And he looks absolutely disgusted with it. It wasn't a very wise move there on the part of John Edrich. Seemed a little bit close to take a chance with. Coming back an awful long way.
England are 98 for 1, the first over after lunch. It's Walker to Edrich. It's a risky shot for 4 from John Edrich. 100 up. In only the 29th over of the innings. All very much to the liking of this splendid crowd. So John Edrich moving into the 40s, England 102 for 1. That's 4 of them, and he's there. So John Edrich making his 50 in 2 1/4 hours, just a shade less, with 7 fours. 51 out of 112 for 1. That's off the edge, and that's over the top. And a stroke of luck there for David Steele, who was aiming to pull that wide of mid-on, getting a top edge for it. Sort of thick edge. Looks like 4 runs.
David Steele is still pursuing this forward movement all the time. Noticing there's no bounce to worry him out there. Ross Edwards is the man coming around from cover. And it's the 100 partnership, and a very good one too. No great alarms for either batsman there. Steele has kept on from where he left off in the Lord's Test match. Batted very well there. Made 50 and 45 in that second test, and here today he's made 42, and he and Edrich have taken the score to 125. Shot. Nice timing, that. No chance of Edwards cutting that off. Edwards just leant into that, and it fairly raced away down the slope. And he's got him. It's a good catch by Ashley Mallett, and well bowled by Thompson. He's worked very hard today for that wicket. John Edrich is the man out for 62. A very good innings from Edrich. And Thompson, the man who has broken through with the second wicket for Australia. 137 for 2 now. A valuable breakthrough for that, and a good innings from John Edrich. That was a firm stroke off the back foot. He hit it quite hard to Ashley Mallett, and Mallett took it easily. Made a difficult chance look quite simple. 137 for 2. The crowd standing to Edrich as he leaves the field. That partnership went from 25 to 137. Here's how the wicket fell. Ashley Mallett taking it neatly. Greg Chappell, the man, congratulating.
Got away all right, got away smartly, square on the onside. And again, the fast outfield having the last say here. All skating away from Doug Walters the whole time. Lucky edge there. Skidding away for 4 more. And if you edge a ball outside the off stump, that's the best place to edge it. happy to take the single. Away out of the firing line for a minute, brings up to 150. Quite a useful scoring rate, 150 coming up in the 44th over. That must be fairly close. Possibly just going to miss leg stump. Beaten with the extra little bit of pace and swing there. Ball coming in again very sharply indeed. Walker thinking there's no justice at all here in this test match at Headingley. Well, a number of very good in-swingers and one going on with the arm. And the top of Pickish Edge racing away down the hill. No chance of stopping it at all. After labouring for a little while, David Steele goes through to second 50 in this Test match series. Opening at Lord's with an excellent 50 and once again doing a great job here for England. Coming in at number 3. And he's made 50 out of a total of 159 for 2. That's better. And that's LBW. Yes, that looked a good one. That's where he's been looking to pitch it the whole time. Coming in late. Hampshire on the back foot, as so many of the England cricketers were in that Prudential, and little hope at all once that ball comes in sharply. So Hampshire, the third Englishman to go, out for 14, LBW to Gilmore, the score on 159. Gilmore already with 1 wicket to his name. Coming in from this football stand end. Watch for the ball coming in from round about off stump. A little delay there, but umpire constant, working out the situation. Up goes the finger and out goes John Hampshire. Frightened of asking. It's a useful ball. It's the one that didn't come back. Fletcher there in a little bit of a tangle.
He's caught him just before tea. The 4th wicket goes down. Fletcher is out for 8. Caught at gully. And Steele remains 69 not out. So that is a disaster for England in a good little spell of bowling from Dennis Lilly, where he beat Fletcher a couple of times and then had him well caught by Mallet at gully. So Fletcher is out for 8. It's 189 for 4. Steele is not out, 69.
There must be lucky trousers there that David Steele's wearing. They wore them in his first test match. He's going to stick by them. Might be able to afford a new pair after all this test match money coming in. And so Craig comfortably away there. Pushed into the vacant spaces, Mallet chasing at the ball, gathering pace the whole time and leaving him quite standing. Tony Greig now has completed the test match double of 2,000 runs and 100 wickets, known his 41st test. With Wilfred Rhodes and Trevor Bailey, the only other two to have previously done that. And that's 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. Over pitch, beautifully put away through mid-wicket. So the 200 coming up for England, 202 now for 4, and Greig moving on to 11.
Thompson now to Steele. And that's straight up in the air, and it's Walters underneath it, and it's taken quite safely, and Thompson's extra pace getting through there. As Jim Laker mentioned just a few minutes ago, STEELE has had no trouble in hooking Lilly, but Thompson has troubled him, and he is out now for 73. Fort Walters bowled Thompson with the total at 213 for 4. So a tremendous 2 matches for David STEELE at Lord's. He made 50 and 45, and here at Headingley today he has made 73. You can't do very much better than that in your first 2 games. That's 4. Straight over McCosker's head. Don't have to run for that. McCosker, he's almost picked it up. Well, that would have been a very useful piece of captaincy as well as a useful catch. I can't really believe place a man exactly in that position for a batsman lofting the ball off his toes, but almost pulled it off.
Beaten again there, but that little bit of extra pace. Friendly full pitch, driven firmly past the bowler, hurrying away down to the football stand there for 4. Alan Knott's been batting consistently well again this year, averaging 47. Reached his first 100 in his last innings. It's Warwickshire at Birmingham. And clipping that away fine for 4. No deep long leg. A very interesting bowler to watch here today. Specialises on the in-swinger. And has a slight change of action, in fact, when he bowls the other one, the one that swings away from the right-hander. That's the one. That's the outside edge all the way along the ground there for 4 more. Same swinger this time, nicely guided away by Greg to bring up the 250 for England.
Tony Greig and Alan Knott saw them through to the close of play. Greig 46, Knott 7, 32 extras in the total of 251 for 5, and that is a very valuable score in the context of this game. The pitch is playing low and slow. Edrich and STEELE played very well earlier in the day, and then Greig held them together later on. Not much batting to come. Edmonds, Old, Snow and Underwood, and I'd like to be in England's position at this moment. The Australians bowled pretty well. They kept it tight all day. Gilmore playing in his first test match, 2 for 73, 22 overs, 6 maidens. Thompson bowled the fastest I've seen him on the whole of this tour. Lilly slowed his pace and moved it off the seam and in the air. And Walker bowled pretty well. He moved it a lot in towards the right-handers. Chappell bowled just the 2 overs towards the end of the day. Didn't do anything sensational with the spin, but for the rest of the day, it was all pace and swing and movement off the seam. Well, now, the pitch is not going to be conducive to stroke play as the game goes on. I would like to be in England's position with 251 on the board. I think Greig and Knott did well to hold out tonight, and if they can keep on tomorrow and get a score around about the 350 mark, then I reckon the Australians might well be in trouble. The pitch is not dangerous by any means. It's just keeping low, and it won't be easy to play strokes as the game goes on. England have 2 spinners. Thompson now to bowl the first.